All right, people, me again, man, Mr. B. And we'll turn the spotlight now on the second candidate that we're looking at. Now, first of all, let me give a quick background. As I commented earlier on, but in an earlier video, that the way how some of the Jamaica people in my carry on, wanted to get the impression that elections still are run. The elections are now over. A month ago, the Jamaica Labour Party won the election fair and square. You may argue about the amount of votes, but they win, and so they have formed the government. They they finished up with 35 seats to the PNP's 28 seats, and so they formed the government. So this business of people trying to split hairs and everything where the government announced, everybody find fault is like I get prize feed. And by the same token, they on the labor right side, them not have nothing good to say about the PNP either. Now we have to get past this as a population. Election done, we punch the sky and we talk about election was peaceful in general, no loss of life, etc. And that's some phenomenal improvement over where we come from. But the election done. And when the election done, the expectation has to be that the country come together, both sides, Labour right, PNP, and push forward to try and build the country. Now, let me say a bullet of comments going the rounds with respect to the PNP's candidate who won in East Portland, Isat Buchanan. And let me just bring him up. And now Isat Buchanan have a fairly colorful background in respect of his life. Young enough man, well, certainly much younger than I am. But when you're young, and especially subject to where you come from, your upbringing and things, you get in all kind of crap. And sometimes it's too bad for you to recover from it. And sometimes you just can't recover, and in other instances you just need time. Now, Buchanan is actually the son of Big Youth, right? And everybody know Big Youth, but I realize a lot of people don't know that Isaac Buchanan is his son. Now, as a youngster, Buchanan got himself into some problems where he was convicted of he has had 2 convictions for relating to drugs. And the first conviction, he was held, charged, convicted for taking steps to export controlled substance, right? We're not forgetting where it was, right? Essentially, that conviction, well, the second conviction saw him arrested and imprisoned in the United States, where he was found guilty for, again, another trafficking charge. And this is within a few years of him being getting out of the first conviction. And he was sentenced to 10 years, served 8.5 years, and of course, came back to Jamaica. Now, his story though is a significant one, because on a whole, me personally will tell you, say the drugs thing is not something that me have a whole heap of sympathy for anybody that get caught with drugs, but that's just my personal thing, right? Me no make the rules, but me I give you from my own personal background. But you know, as you get older, you learn that we all, and and everybody who get in a them kind of trouble, police catch them and send them to prison. And sometimes some of them still are going to do it because nobody no catch them. But when a man get incarcerated and you serve your time, the expectation is, based on how the system works, is that you basically come back a road and you start your life anew. I think the Jamaican conviction, from what I've learned, was expunged from his record some years ago. So, in essentially, in accordance with the Jamaican law and the Constitution, given the expungement, even have no criminal record to hold him by. And so the Jamaica Labour Party basically used that against him when he was declared as the candidate for run for East Portland against Action Ann, who was Anne-Marie Vaz, the wife of Darrell Vaz, who controlled West Portland. And so Vaz took this seat after the PNP candidate had passed away. And we won't get into that. And so she came into politics, and then she won in the 2020 election. Bloomfield was the candidate, a PNP, so it's actually a PNP seat. And she took it over. The by-election was run with well, forget about it. The reality is that she won the seat, and she took it again in 2020. And so Buchanan came up against her, and he won. Now, most pundits, political pundits, never give him a ghost of a chance. But the fact is, he won. The PNP selected him, and of course, the PNP have their own process. And the people of East Portland looked at his credentials, inclusive of all of the scars that he had, and they determined that this man is the one where them are going to give him a chance to represent them. Now, you know, it speaks to a kind of maturity, if you like, of our electoral process, because at the end of the day, it is the people, the voters, who make this choice, right? If the party decide, and that would have come through consultations that they would have had with not only him, the candidate, but the party executive within the constituency. And so if the people select it, you know, the party not a reason to reject him. It's the people's decision. And so some of the people living at the JLP now up in arms that, boy, we shouldn't have nobody in a parliament who have a criminal record, and that this is inconsistent. I don't know where them get their reasoning from, because the man has a criminal record, and you can't have somebody as a lawmaker who have a criminal record. Now, here is my view with all of that. That is bull crap. Because the Jamaica Labour Party are in no position to take that kind of stance, especially for somebody who at least we know what crime he committed and he actually paid for it. Now, the JLP have some 10 to 12 of its members of parliament who has been flagged by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment. What has happened is, over the last 5 years, the party has buried this investigation, right? So we don't know, as Jamaicans, who these people are, right? We don't know what it is that they have been fingered for. In other words, what wrong they have been. We don't know if drugs them sell, whether cocaine, weed. We don't know if them are smuggle gun. We don't know if them are sell national secrets. We don't know if them are thief the government money and a feather them nest. We don't know. We don't know we don't know who they are. We don't know the egregious nature of the offenses that they have committed, because the party has buried that. Now, we know what Buchanan was charged and incarcerated for, based on the availability of information. And the fact that he has paid for his crime, opens the door for redemption. And so until the Jamaica Labour Party people is willing to bring these 10 or so people who have been flagged by the Integrity Commission to make their matters public, you're not in a position to talk about, because we don't know what kind of activity these people have been involved in, but they are in the House and are part of the lawmaking infrastructure in the Jamaican political system and with respect to the Jamaican Constitution. So my philosophy, my mother always said, same knife a joke dog, right? And so if you're going to fling stone after people, make sure say you don't live in a glass house, right? Make sure. At least we know what Buchanan did, right? And I may tell you, because there was a point in my life where I would perhaps have, gone down the same road where you block them on. But the reality is none of us are without sins. And so part of the whole business of redemption, providing people with an opportunity to turn their lives around, is these circumstances. Now, my personal view is that Buchanan has turned his life around. He has gone on to become an attorney at law. One with some clout. He successfully argued for his client. You may not like the background, but the fact is he argued his client's case, Vibes Cartel, in front of the British Privy Council, and it was part of the activity which led to the overturning of those charges that were placed against Vibes Cartel, and today Vibes Cartel is a free man. He also functioned as an adjunct professor at the university, and his specialty of in terms of the areas of law is in terms of the justice, the whole restorative justice, and so on. And so he went against the odds and he beat Vaz. And unless the people on the JLP side are upset that Vaz lose because he win. The man run a proper election, and however, it was more people vote for him than vote for her. And so that qualifies him to sit in the House of Representatives, right? And the argument about the charges against him, those charges have been heard. He has answered them. He has paid the penalty for it. And he has an opportunity to redeem himself. Now, I know he's going to have a tough time in Portland because the PNP lost the election. So he has to figure out a way to carry the platform, to deliver what he promised to the electorate in Portland. But his campaign thing was about health, education, agriculture, and tourism, and as he believed that these are some of the areas that can help lift the constituency. Portland has a big history as a tourism parish. It was where a lot of bananas in the early days shipped out of Jamaica. Has a pier, a couple of hotels, and has been developing as a nice little hotspot on that side of the island. What he has done is broke the Vazism mold that seemed to have overtaken Portland, and some people, it don't look like them willing to take that. My thing is that his personal story of redemption gives a strong narrative, especially in the areas concerned with crime, justice, and youth empowerment. Again, his legal background and his litigation track record also give him some credibility, especially in the areas of human rights, constitutional justice, and land rights, etc. So he is the representative, and whether you did vote for him or not, you need to hug up that him is the member of parliament that the people of Portland chooses. And in the same way how they chose Vaz, and they chose the two Vaz on the two sides, we have to respect the choice of the people. And you can't then turn on and want to suggest that the people them don't know what them do, because them now select the person where you would prefer. And also the politics go. More importantly, election done. Let's move on. Let us use examples like these as a see them as an opportunity to send a more uplifting message to our population. You know, let us show people that, listen, no matter how things bad, people can turn around. My view is that Buchanan's past convictions, his suspension from practicing law because of some comments he made against the former director of public prosecution, which was a little beyond the pale. He has paid for that. They've sanctioned him, and he's paying the price. And so we shouldn't use stuff like this and try to hammer down people, because at the end of the day, I want away, right? We need to turn the corner in the way we practice politics. When election time around, yeah, we can take away, carry on, but when the election done and the results, the vote them count, let's move on. Tell me what you think about what we think, right? And if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, you know, and so that when more of them kind of video drop and we have them discussion here, you're going to be there to participate. Until then, more time.